Good evening. Welcome to our January 4th, 2022 City Council meeting. It is 7:04 p.m. Meeting is now in session. Quiet up there, please. Tonight's invocation will be led by our Assistant City Clerk, Lisa Sherrick, and I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise, please.
Good evening, Mayor. Heavenly Father, as we gather together this evening, we ask for wisdom and kindness to carry out the business before us. May you provide us with guidance to act upon the matters at hand and show us how to conduct our work with peace and gratitude. Amen.
Please face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Assistant City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Tabatabai?
Present.
Councilman Wu?
Yep.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz?
Here.
Mayor Castellanos?
Here. Thank you. And City Attorney, is there anything to be reported out of closed session?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have no presentations tonight, so we'll continue with oral communications. So if anyone would like to address the council, please fill out a yellow speaker card and submit it to our Assistant City Clerk. Any emails that were received by 5 p.m. have been posted to the city's website, and all emails are part of public record. Assistant City Clerk, how many speaker cards do we have?
Mayor, we have 5 speaker cards this evening.
Okay. I'd like to set the time at 3 minutes each. Do I have consensus from our council? Sir, I'm running the meeting, not you. Well, I just asked for consensus on 3.
I consent 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So we'll do 3 minutes. And who's the first one?
Our first speaker is Mike Greenspan, followed by Armando.
Please do not interrupt.
Followed by Miss Jerry Potchers. Mike Greenspan.
Mr. Shoemaker, please pipe down out there. We're running a meeting. There you go.
Mike Greenspan. Okay. Fucking 3 minutes. What happened? It's not as if we have a whole room full of people wanting to speak. 5 people. 5 fucking speakers. And we only get 3 minutes. All the money you take in, all the time you take of the people, you take their money, you give them nothing, and now you cut their time down to 3 fucking minutes against your own rules. And it's just not right. I was going to be nice, but I guess nice doesn't work. And you're going to have a goal with your Lasha. Well, keep spending that money and fucking wasting it. Just waste it. Because Lasha has these nice plush downtown offices, and they create a paperwork trail. And when they create a paperwork trail, they send it off to the federal government and get money, making it look like we're doing something. And you know what? They're not doing anything. Now, somebody was supposed to come tonight, and she exposed one of the bigwigs, a guy named Phil Ansell of Lasha, driving a silver Phantom Rolls Royce. Not putting people into housing, but driving a Rolls Royce. Well, if you think that some of us are just going to just sit back and do nothing, you're whistling Dixie. That's all I can say about it. You're whistling Dixie. And here, folks, I'll be certain the camera catches it. After all, wish I was in the land of cotton, old times there have not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland, in Dixieland where I was born early on when frosty morn. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, Hooray! In Dixieland, I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. After all, you just have a fucked up attitude, and I figured, why not? What's wrong with 5 minutes? 5 fucking minutes. You can't give that up. As far as your emergencies, as Armando Herman says, God hates homosexuality. Maybe you're having this problem with the coronavirus because of same-sex marriages, dudes dicking dudes, gals dildoing gals, and you're wondering, gee, why do we have these problems in this world? Maybe it's your conduct. That's what's causing it to happen. Well, I'm sure you'll be grateful that I'll be finished speaking in 7 or 6 seconds, but fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Thank you for that. Next speaker, please.
Herman, followed by Jerry Patches, followed by Win-Win Zhang.
So, on item 7, in regards to city review for 2022 city council goals. Well, are there any goals? If we look at item 1, determining there is a need for a continuance to a local emergency. What is a local emergency? What is a local emergency? You still see people having to run around and stand in lines to get COVID tested, Delta tested, Omicron tested. And what's the next one? Dario tested? Because it's a goddamn shame that we waste our dollars and cents on finagling around and around and around like your dumb president and his little changa hippie from San Francisco, Kamala, who continue to deprive the public a right to either wear a mask or not wear a mask. And the question is, how many of us have died? I keep coming in here and I see the same 5 of you. You see me, 15 years without a flu shot, not one fucking COVID test, and mandatory that I stick a swab up my nose just to have emergency care. Now that's a fucking crime. Taking advantage of the public's money. And I really hope that LASA gets the big government to stick their big cock up that pussy of LASA, Los Angeles Housing Authority, and stop the stealing. Look around West Covina. Never in our lives have we seen so many homeless people walking our streets daily. And yet you scumbags don't want to talk about it. LASA has $70 million HUD money, and all they can say in their protocol is that, well, we have 9 units available. Available for what? Fucking veterans are sleeping on the sidewalk and streets. A woman and their children are living wherever they can live. And the rest of us, scumbags, look at it as no big deal of mine, Mr. Mayor. So I really hope in your compassion and heart to believe in what the system's all about. I hope you step up and show West Covina what you got. Because if not, I'm still dicking around here, and I haven't been told to stop. And the only way you're going to stop me is prove to me that America is not fucked up.
Jerry Patches, followed by Win-Win Zhang, followed by John Shoemaker.
Good evening. Tonight I'd like to talk about items 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think they're very important items. Item 6 is just opaque, which is what you guys like to do, is be opaque. But 2, 3, 4, and 5 I relate to from my work, and I think they're really a good idea. Updating job descriptions and salary grades is important I think the residents in general, when they understand things, would also, and I've heard good things, support that. It's being on the consent calendar. You'd look much better if you put it under departmental matters, and we know that you would discuss it, instead of putting on the consent calendar, and I mentioned this a year ago, and pulling it off. It looks opaque. Opaque is not transparent. Out of these items, the one that I really liked was the forensic specialist in the police department. I want to thank the police department for being receptive, for looking at new ways of doing things. I read the job description and all the items, and it looks like a good change. So thank you, police department. I hope we continue that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wen Zhang, followed by John Shoemaker, followed by R. Robinson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, and Ms. Assistant City Manager, staff, and everyone in the audience and watching at home. Happy New Year! My name is Wen Zhang, and I'm West Covina Library Manager. West Covina Library continues to provide sidewalk service and a phone service during library closure for refurbishment. The service hours are Mondays through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And you can reserve library books and materials using and make a reservation using the library online catalog. So when the materials that you reserved available for you to pick up, and you'll be notified by email if you sign up for email notification, and you can come to the library to pick them up. But I highly recommend you call the library before you come, because we can make your pickup ready for you beforehand. So we can check them out to you and put them in a bag and put them aside and waiting for you. So by the time you arrive at the door, please give us another call, and we'll bring out your items right away, so you don't need to wait. And so if you need some help with, with material lookup or reservation, please do not hesitate to call the library, and we'll be delighted to help you. And and this year, this month in January, West Covina Library will give out 2 art activity kits for children. One is for school-age children. It's called Ice Cream Fun, and the other for teens called Ghost Setting in a Jar. And please call the library for pickup. First come, first served, as supply last. So another thing I wanted to mention to you is that we provide a variety of virtual programs. Please check our website, the library website, for schedules and reservations. And please take the advantage of the library services, all the services and the programming, everything in the libraries are free for the public. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
John Shoemaker, followed by R. Robinson.
And your lips didn't even move when you spoke for him. Yeah. It's just amazing how most of you contradict exactly everything you were in for. You know, we want to be open, but we don't say anything about a health department, which we know is nothing more than a power play so you can punish the people who don't support you in business and things like that. You know, this is a council that turned down enterprise coming to our city, which would have delivered somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000 a year in tax revenue to us, because they weren't on the list, the approved by the king of Tonytown. Nobody was arguing against them, except somebody who was on the list of most favored nations on Tony's list. But you get Amazon that wants to go into an area that is pretty much residential, especially when you're on one of the other roads. And, well, we're going to get $4 million over the next 10 years. Oh, I guess the $3 to $4 million from Enterprise wasn't worth it. And nobody was complaining about that except for one person. So, it's just absolutely amazing that you guys are even inconsistent when you're saying we need money, but you walk away from it because they're not, specific. I remember a professor I had when it came to strategic management. And every basic textbook says goals are useless unless you have some plan to back it up. And the professor that I had that was the best at it was a Professor Ansoff, who, when a steel company wanted to go into financial services, they asked him to say how you can do it. So he put a program together, walked in, first overhead he put out back in the days when you did overheads was a letter of resignation for the entire board. Because one of the things he always said is you had to have the people who were capable of doing what you wanted to do. They were great at running steel companies, but not one of them had any knowledge of how to run a financial services firm. So he asked the entire board to resign. Well, we made a mistake of electing you guys because you have no capability of running a city. And you can't even hire people who can run a city. We hire another office person instead of a police officer. That shows you where your priorities are and the capability of the people you are hiring. It's really that simple. I'm glad you like what I'm saying with your smile.
Makes no sense, so.
Well, thank you. That tells me how much it does.
R. Robinson.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. I've lately become a fan of Willie Gates and Tony Fauci. Perhaps this underemployed duo will run for president in 2 years to bring forth their eugenics agenda front and center so that medical tyranny, novel science, transhumanism, and vaccine cult fear-mongering can come forward. The globalists become the leadership that makes America great again by gaslighting. Provide bioweapons for everyone, equality with no discrimination, and Big Pharma is destined to save us all, boosters for everyone every 6 months forever. So I'm not certain how long you folks are going to keep this local emergency charade up. West Covina's mandate tonight is the biggest threat to residents. The annual flu season is upon us, and history shows normal seasonal flu death rates range from 10 to 70,000 per year. This is routine news. Americans die every year routinely due to seasonal flu. The voluntary informed consent of the experimental guinea pig is absolutely essential. Similarly, it's obvious that censorship, compromise of rights guaranteed by both the federal and state constitutions are being systematically terminated. Plus, people's realizing their immune systems are being harmed by current policy needs broader awareness. What is really happening can easily be determined by everyone by reading public information provided by Moderna's U.S. patent file, which amounts to 399 pages of the driest chemical science that you could possibly imagine. The worst of what is happening is the gaslighting in mainstream media, fear-mongering. This is no longer about public health, it's about power and control, and justice will inevitably prevail in the long run if we investigate what's going on. To that end, I'll finish by reciting some provisions of the Nuremberg Code. The first, that was a judicial case formed in 1948. Voluntary informed consent is essential. Any elements of force, fraud,
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
arrest.
Thank you. To be continued. Next time. Thank you all for your contributions. Assistant City Clerk, do we have any more speaker cards?
We have no more speaker cards, Mayor.
Okay, and our city manager, David Carmody, was not feeling well today, so our assistant city manager, Paulina Morales, will respond. Is there anything you would like to respond to?
Sorry, I'm trying to. Oh, my mic is on. Sorry, couldn't see the light. Good evening, Mayor and fellow council members. Yes, I will be stepping in for.
Microphone's off again. No.
You know what? I'll do this one. Sorry about that. Okay. So I don't think there was anything I needed to respond to the comments this evening. Ms. Potras did have questions about an agenda item that I believe will be discussed this evening, and wanted to thank Ms. Singh for providing us update on the library services.
Thank you, and I'll add to that, we had a couple speakers who mentioned LASA, and although we don't agree on all topics, I would like to say that is one of my goals. I agree that LASA has failed us. They're funded by the county, by Measure H. I actually even have video and pictures on my phone of LASA worker sleeping apparently while on the clock. I'll find a way to address that on my own another day. And as our assistant city manager, Paulina Morales, mentioned in response to some of these items in the consent calendar, we will consider labeling them departmental matters in the future, although I think pulling them is also effective, but your point is taken. Let's see here. So moving on to consent calendar, is there anything that anybody would like to pull? Mayor Pro Tem Diaz.
Excuse me, if I can, through the chair, our city manager's report?
Oh, yes, thank you. I skipped over that. City manager's report, please, Ms. Morales.
Okay. So tonight we wanted to start off and wish everyone a happy new year, happy 2020, wishing everyone a happy and healthy new year this year. I know it's starting off a little bit not so healthy, so we want to make sure everyone stays healthy throughout this pandemic. Secondly, because of the surge that's going on with Omicron, we will remain open at City Hall. We are just going to implement some new procedures to protect our staff and protect our residents when visiting. We are going to be checking in everyone at the basement level. You will be checked in. You can go to any department, and then we ask that you exit through the basement level. We are going to be closing our fire stations to the public as well. We will continue to provide all services, though. Next is our tree recycling. So as you're getting rid of your Christmas tree, please make sure to put it on the curb on the day that your regular trash pickup is. If you have any questions, you can go to athensservices.com for additional information about your tree. With the surge going on, West Covina has and continues to provide a testing site here in our community for our residents. It's at the Senior Center, and we we're able to expand to include Sunday testing on Sunday, so it's Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Appointments are preferred, but they do take walk-ins. And then you can go to the website, fulgenetics.com, to make an appointment, or you can go through our city website.
So I'm sorry. So it's Monday off. So Tuesday to Sunday.
Correct.
So only Monday do not have. So we can tell the resident. Mm-hmm. We have been a lot of inquiry regarding this. So basically, it will be Tuesday to Sunday. Only Monday off from 10 to 6.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
And the last one is we have a commissioner vacancy. We have a vacancy in the Community and Senior Services Commission. That commission meets and they go over decisions that impact recreational services, public transportation. So we'd like to encourage anyone that wants to get more involved in the community and help make some decisions to make our community a better place to live, work, and play, to reach out through our website or through our Human Resources Department and apply. They do meet, I think, on the odd months, and on the second Tuesday at 6 p.m., and there is a compensation for attending those meetings. So if anyone's interested, please reach out to HR or through the website. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Question from Councilman Wu?
Yep, let's go back to the testing from Cortez parking lot. Okay, and do the resident need to use the insurance card? Is it free? Okay, and how long it take to, is a speedy test or this is a PRC test or something, take about a couple of days? So what is the timeline? If the first is what the cost, second thing is how long it take to get a result?
So it's there is no cost. I know that when I've used that service, it was a 2-day turnaround. I don't know if that's still the same with the amount of the increase in demand for testing, but it has been a quick turnaround using that service through Fulgent. And I'm not sure as to which tests they're doing specifically. UCR. Okay. And I think PCR, sorry.
So the PCR test for 2 days, result. Okay, so can we post this on our city website? So all the
I believe it's already on our website, but we can do a social media push this week
would you
and inform our residents.
Because today I went to my office, I passed through the San Gabriel airport, and that's the first time for a long, long time I haven't seen a long line of car waiting, to go to be tested. So possible this surge, and a lot of residents want to have some peace in mind, this and that. So please, put on social media so our resident can have a resource to use this. Thank you.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
Thank you. And I have tried that, and they gave it as early as the next day. But of course, you are correct. Due to the COVID increase, didn't the city increase the testing capacity at different areas as well? I thought.
That's Sunday. So I spoke to the people leading that place. Sunday was recently not available. They added Sunday as an additional day of capacity.
With that,
so like 1 week ago, Sundays were not part of the schedule.
So it was Tuesday through Saturday. So we were able to increase it, but that is the only testing site that we have partnered with to bring into the community.
Okay, so it's that 1 day increase with this site. There are no other locations.
That's right.
Or like Mondays.
Unfortunately, we can't provide Monday. We are trying to work and expand that as much as possible.
I'm sorry. I think I remember before we have a Cameron Park, they have a testing center, but due to lack of usage, and they have been requested to be removed, but they're coming back, so.
I know that we, like Mayor Castellanos mentioned, we did reach out to them and try to increase our testing sites and opportunities so we can reach out to them and see if we can bring back a site at Cameron.
What they told me is that not only in our city, but in the whole county, their biggest challenge is labor. Yeah. Hiring is tough. Any other questions from the council? Okay. Seeing none, now we'll move on to consent calendar. And I think I had Mayor Pro Tem Diaz ready to mention some items to pull.
Thank you, Mayor Castellanos. I'd like to pull all of the new positions. I'd like the staff to give an explanation about them, and I want to know if that's something that's in our budget that we can afford. So if we can have somebody explain that to us. That would be
what are the numbers?
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
2 through 6?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And Assistant City Manager, who would be the person ready to speak about it?
Through the chair, can we get a vote on the item number 1 first?
Oh, yes, that's right. We're approving 1. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
1. Okay. Okay, please.
I have a motion by Mayor Castellanos with a second by Councilmember Tabatabai. Councilmember Tabatabai?
Aye.
Councilman Wu?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Castellanos?
Aye. Number 1 passes 5-0, and moving on to 2 through 6.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening again. So the item before, or these items before you tonight, 2 to 6, the request are necessary to help ensure continued services to our residents and our staff. The job descriptions before you tonight reflect changes that are critical to help attract candidates to West Covina, allows departments, divisions to take advantage of vacancies, and an opportunity to restructure the departments to provide more efficient services, and lay out succession planning for the future. It allows them to update job duties and qualifications to current positions that are much needed and to create positions that ensure no gap of services. All of the positions are not being requested to be filled. Some are job description updates that are part of a series for a department as we are restructuring through this process this evening. So I will start with the positions in the police department. So the City of West Covina has staffed its forensic specialist position with a sworn officer. While there are investigative benefits to this approach, the turnover rate, as well as the shortages of sworn officer personnel, is the reason staff is recommending to convert this into a civilian position, which would also include a cost savings because it would not be as costly as a sworn officer. In addition, the Records Bureau has been managed on a rotational assignment between 2 sworn officers since the records supervisor left in 2020. The job descriptions will also make the records positions a civilian position. The proposed change will provide proper management and oversight and consistency and supervision for the Bureau without having to have a rotational supervisors. For the Human Resources and Risk Management, their department is now down from 4 to 2. They've had two staff members that have left, and so they're taking this opportunity to restructure the department, and they're asking for job descriptions for the series in the HR and Risk Management Department. It's going to better reflect the duties and qualifications required in HR, and it also is preparing a succession plan for that department. Of the 4 positions in HR, like I said, we're updating all of the positions. They will remain with an HR director, an HR manager, an HR analyst, and an HR technician. The senior HR technician will be reflected in the fiscal budget 22-23. Finance. So finance has had a great difficulty in hiring a payroll specialist. They've gone through 2 failed hires and through an accounting technician and an accountant. And so in order to better appeal to a candidate specifically for payroll, they want to create this job description for payroll specialist. And as seen here, the payroll specialist will be budgeted, under budgeted as the account position, so there will be a cost savings there. In October of 2018, due to budgetary constraints, the city reorganized several departments. The Community Development Department was established with Planning, Community and Economic Development, Building, Engineering, and Code Enforcement. The Public Services was established combining community service and maintenance. The job description for Public Services Director was never updated to reflect this reorganization of the department. And as we are updating the director description, staff is also recommending the approval of the Public Services Management Series, which would include the creation of the Deputy Director of Public Services. So out of all those positions, these are the 4 that we will be filling, and there is expected no budgetary impact to this current fiscal year's budget. Any other positions, as they are requested to be filled, would have to either go through, be included in the future budget or go through a budget amendment. If you have any questions, myself or staff can answer.
Okay, so high level of confidence that there will be no budget amendment required with these?
With the 4 that are on the last page, they are going to have a zero impact to the budget.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilman Wu.
On the public work, okay, as I remember, we have Chino, okay, as a public work director. I went through a couple of them. Okay, they only last like 1 year, 2 years, and then they're gone. So I think we already have that position, right?
We do, but
I think we have a deputy public work, director too, at that time. Okay, and but clearly I know we have a public work director. Okay.
We did, but when the departments was reorganized, the duties changed.
So 2018, when they lay off 22 people and they restructure everything, and I remember they restructure. Okay, I disapproved that time, but I remember they still keep the public work director. No, we don't have that. They eliminate.
Correct. So we do have a public works director, and I'll double check on the deputy director. But what happened is it was a public works director. We now have a public services department. So before, public works included building, engineering, and maintenance. Now, building and engineering are with community development.
Then what the Chino position was? Okay, because
he was a public works director.
That's why I remember. And now we want to bring this job back, right?
So what we're doing is we are bringing it back within the current structure that we have now. So right now, public services includes maintenance and community services.
Yeah. But did we eliminate that position in 2018? I remember. I don't think we eliminated. So we
didn't. We still have the job description on our website, and we still have a salary range. But the duties and roles of that.
My point is, then we shouldn't have impact. Okay, on our budget, since we already have that position, we just didn't we didn't fill it. Okay, we don't have any candidate to fill it up on that position. Am I right? Or
I don't think it was current budget in the current.
They didn't budget, but since we have this job description, we just have vacant. So we should have a budget with this staffing. Okay, but when we don't have a staff, doesn't mean we didn't budget since we already have a job description. That's my point. We have a lot of job description. We have no people quit, but the job's still there. We just didn't fill it up. So my point is, we should have a budget. We need to bring Robin back. Where's Robin?
If Stephanie
Robin, can you call Robin? Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
I believe
we have an interim. Yeah, Stephanie, would you please? Okay.
Position.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. We do have a public works position that was budgeted. This is my understanding that this position is different than the public works position that Mir is currently filling.
Mir is the part-time. He's a consultant.
Correct.
Right now, we're talking about a full-time, what we had before. And we have a Chino, we have a Jeremy. Okay, we have 2 or 3. I went through it. And they are public work director in charge of city cleanliness, okay, maintenance, and even get grant, something to look like a full-blown, pretty heavy-duty job. And now, Mayor, my understanding, he's just 2 days in our city as a part-time.
He's just part-time.
He's part-time, more like consultant.
Budget associated with the public works director position. So whatever moves forward with this, however they phase in a public service director, could possibly absorb the vacancy savings.
So if we approve this, do we have an impact of our 21-22 budget?
Well, my understanding was with this item, they're not actually asking to fill the position. If
it's create a position. So basically, today we just create a position.
Correct.
Got it. We create a position first, okay, and then we will see our budget on the 2021-22. Okay, and that will be basically we will see the impact of our budget.
Correct. Later on, so we actually decide to fill.
Yeah. So if I should return to the last page on this, or the last slide, these are the 4 positions that once you guys, if you approve this evening, we were going to start recruiting tomorrow. So
You have a hard time to recruit people right now.
yeah, but hopefully with the job descriptions and with these titles, we are hopeful that we are going to be able to fill these positions.
So how many, if we talking about 21, 22 budget?
The current budget?
Correct. And then if we approve this, how many positions will be, impacted to our budget?
These 4 will be.
These 4, but they're already budgeted. So
It's already
some of them,
budgeted?
they're vacant. Like the payroll specialist is an accountant position that's currently vacant. The HR manager would be a vacant position that's currently going to be absorbed through vacancy savings. And then same with the police officer positions as well. The records
So basically, this is
manager
restructures.
vacant, budgeted.
It doesn't have too much impact to our approved budget because we hire 10-10-10. So we want to make sure we maintain the conservative spending. I know we have some kind of surplus, but at the same time, we want to make sure, are we going to have an impact on our budget by all these positions? Some of them sound like a new position.
So the 4 that we can go to recruit tomorrow, if approved, will have no impact to the budgetary impact to this current fiscal budget.
Say that again. I'm kind of confused. So it sounds like we don't have too much impact on our
No,
2022.
we don't have impact from the 4 that we're looking to actually recruit and hire.
We want to hire right now. We don't have any impact, but
Correct.
the new position we create will be next physical, and budget. Then we will base on how our income this year to see we can
Absorb them.
entertain. Yeah, correct. Then we will see.
Either through a budget amendment or through the next budget cycle.
Okay, so the deputy public work that will be including in this new fiscal year or the current fiscal year.
We would need to come back for a budget amendment.
There will be a budget amendment.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. I give to some other council. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Wu. Any other questions from council? No? Okay.
Did you guys know?
I understand.
Okay.
Okay, I think police wants to add a couple
Yeah,
things.
let's from our police department, the item that's on the agenda today, let's get some input.
Hello, Mayor, council members. I don't get to come up here and speak to you very often, so it's an honor.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I just wanted to explain a little bit first with item number 2, the forensic specialist supervisor that we're looking to fill as soon as possible. The history of West Covina, we've always used a sworn member of our department as a detective. That's someone that had the ability to analyze fingerprints. And West Covina, way back in the 70s, was the leader in analyzing fingerprints and identifying suspects when they leave their fingerprints in crime scenes. And they were court-recognized experts. And we did that as a small agency where the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department would normally do that. And in that, we were able to provide service to all local agencies doing the same thing, running their fingerprints. And what that did is it increased the time where we can identify suspects and get them arrested and off the street quicker, because the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department fingerprint technicians are backed up. And it's still that way today. We're confronted with the person that's currently assigned to that position is a very high probability not going to be with us much longer. And we have to do something to replace him. And we thought it was prudent to join what the industry normally does, and that's use a civilian that is particularly trained in crime scene management and forensic analysis of fingerprints. It's a specialty that takes a lot of training, and if we can't get that person and we lose the other person, we're going to be in a position where we could, eventually lack some efficiency in identifying some of the fingerprints, and we would be a bit challenged with some of the crime scene collection of evidence when we're out on crime scenes. And that position is going to replace a police corporal, which has a higher salary than the civilian would. And I do believe, being the leader of our detectives and this position in particular, I do believe we can actually get a civilian at the salary rate being proposed that can provide an outstanding service to the residents of West Covina. And in the future, the reason why we're asking for the 2 positions that we're not going to fill right now, but we will maybe propose in the future and future budgets is there's a succession plan. So there'll be a forensic specialist, senior specialist, and then an entry level. And what that does is it not only creates a succession plan for when the supervisor leaves, we have someone to bump up without a time lapse or an interruption in service. It also presents an opportunity for the city and the police department to have 3 people out at crime scenes collecting evidence, which increases the time it takes. Because I think, as you know, and even as recently, it takes a long time on some of these crime scenes to be out there. And the longer it takes, the longer the streets are shut down, the longer the businesses are shut down. So that's what we're trying to accomplish there for those two spots. And
Thank you. That makes sense, and I applaud the innovative nature of thinking forward and looking at options given the challenges of hiring. So, Chief, anything you'd like to add?
And I'll add one thing. That
Go ahead.
position does create revenue for the city.
Oh, that's
because we have contracts with 8 or 9 other police departments, and they pay us to run their fingerprints.
good. That's I'm happy to hear that. That's really positive.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, so you say we can make money?
We currently do make money.
Then we should recruit them right away.
We currently have.
How many we need? How many we need?
They are one of the 4 we will be recruiting.
So we are recruiting right now?
As soon as we
If we
get
approve it.
approval for this position, and I can go, we can.
I think they have a school for that, right? Like CIs, criminal investigation.
Most of them have bachelor's degrees in.
I watched
some
a
sort
lot of
forensic
TV
science.
show for that. Forensic investigation, something.
Correct. Yeah, they're very well educated. And before we would take a sworn officer and train him, it would take a year to 2 to train him or her to do that job. So as it sits now, we service fingerprints for Alhambra PD, Azusa PD, Baldwin Park PD, Covina PD, El Monte PD, Glendora PD, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Diamond Bar Station because they can't get their fingerprints fast enough through their own agency, and Monrovia PD, and we also help out DMV, CHP Baldwin Park, and the Auto Theft Task Force out of the county.
So it sounds like you want to build up your team, forensic team, so we can service out the city, so we can kind of help them when we are downtime. Okay.
Well,
hopefully we don't use them all the time due to this crime scene, so we can help maybe out the city so we can get paid.
Correct. So our goal is to be able to provide a service for these cities and make revenue to pay for a portion or at some point all of that.
So basically 3% of this team, right? Entry, median, and the supervisor.
Yes, three is ideal. It takes 2 to identify fingerprints. When the lead person identifies someone by ridges and the fingerprints, it takes a second person to verify it. Right now, we have someone paid by the hour to do that for us.
Do we need a lab for that? Okay. A lot of time they need a lab to do the.
We have a lab in the police department to run all.
We have a lab to do. Okay, then we should approve this. Anything can make money. I'm all forward.
I mean,
Exactly.
revenue generation.
I want to make sure that we make money.
I would love to come down and show you guys what they do.
Yeah,
I'd be very impressed.
And we need it. I think we are big police department, big city.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to build out our team.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we could start sharing people that we're catching off of these identifications too. I think the community would like to see that more.
Yeah, we will. And that's a lot of something like that. We can kind of help out and make sure our city is safe, and then we build our good team. And not only we spend the money, we can make the money back by mutual assist. To all the city. Thank you so much, sir.
I think Chief wants to speak on the records position.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Good evening, Council, citizens of West Covina. My name is Chief Richard Bell. I wanted to speak a little bit about the records manager's position. Most of the time when you think about the police department, you think about the uniform, but we have non-sworn personnel behind the scenes that are just as valuable as our men and women are that are on the street. One such person we lost this year, longtime records supervisor. She took another position for quite a bit more money. She was doing a manager's job at a supervisor's level. When I spoke with her as she was leaving, she basically said, it's an opportunity I cannot pass up. I would say that when that happened, we were not in a position to do anything about it. However, when she left, the position is so important because we deal with so much DOJ paperwork. There are requirements, PRA requirements. There are timelines and things like that tend to get police departments in trouble when you don't meet those timelines. The position is very important. It's important for our detectives. It's important for case management, all those things that the normal public does not see. So as we started to analyze the position, we realized that it's underpaid. We flew the position anyway, and we got several entries back, but no one was qualified. And so as we started to make accommodations, trying to make people fit the position, we realized that's not the proper way to do it. We need to find someone that's qualified. So we made the manager's position, which will bump the salary up just a little bit. But in doing that, we expect to get a highly qualified person that can come in and take over that position. Now, just so you know, we've been using a lieutenant in that position, which obviously makes a lot more in that role. But whenever we have to remove an officer from a position and put them in a position like that, we're obviously taking some things away from our citizens, which we don't want to do that. So we're trying to restructure and build. And so by making this supervisor manager's position and getting the proper person in there, that's going to help us rebuild. And we're going to keep the supervisor's position. However, we're going to wait until the next budget cycle and present that to see if it's feasible to actually hire that one. But we need the records manager in there to properly run that department. And that's why we're asking for that position.
Councilman Wu.
How many staff you have right now on this non-sworn record department?
Well, we don't have a supervisor. We have what we call PC1s and PC2s. I want to say there's probably, I don't know, is there like 11 or 12 of them? They
12 of them.
take shifts, but the qualifications at which they need to know, some of the schools they need to go to and some of those things, they're lacking. So you need a supervisor in there, not only that have that skill set, but then can teach down. So what we're trying to do is much like we're doing with the forensics is create a succession, right? We keep the supervisor's position. We put the manager in there, which is what we're asking for, the manager. We're going to hold the supervisor position until the next budget cycle. But the manager needs to get in there, get familiar with our department, and start running that department.
So right now you request civilian supervisor to supervise 12 staff.
Civilian manager.
Civilian manager, non-sworn staff to manage the 12 staff to do the record keeping for our police department.
Yes.
Okay. And you want this happen now or next?
That position needs to happen right now. I'm going to have to take a sworn person and put them back in there, which is what we don't want to do. That's an immediate position. It's one of the 4 that you see up there.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Lopez-Viado.
I was going to say thank you. Those 2 positions, forensic and records, are 2 very important. It keeps us liabilities and everything intact. The forensic, I think a few years ago in our police department within, I don't recall the exact, but we had one department that was the forefront of like the whole San Gabriel Valley area. But because we were dwindling and removing certain things, it kind of depleted. I'm not sure, was that the forensic or was that the detective unit? I was just curious.
I'm not sure which.
Well, point of the thing is, I don't know. It was when in discussion with the police, getting the background and stuff. But they mentioned one department within was where everybody went, and I thought it was the forensic because you were mentioning all the other cities going to our department.
Yes.
But we did the forensic many years ago, right? And that was all the.
We put the. It was a basic position. We took a non-sworn person. We put them in there to be that second verifying person because when a print is verified, you got to have a second person, but that person has since retired as well. So we lost both. And one of the things I think Travis touched on a little bit is, this is like the 4th go-round where we've put an officer in there. They've gotten the expertise. It's taken a couple of years. They build themselves up. And then either by burnout, either by promotion or retirement, we end up losing. We have to start all over, which is where we are now. which is why we're looking at industry standards. And we think by putting a civilian in there, someone that wants to be there and is going to stay there, is the best course of action.
But everything is in place in regards to, I know you said preparing, well, this one to include preparing the lab upgrades. Is there a lot of upgrades that needs to be done?
There will be some upgrades in the future. They've pushed it out. We're not in jeopardy of losing our lab now. We do have a lab. If you want to see it, I'll be more than happy to show it to you. We're able to do a lot of the things that the sheriffs are able to do. Eventually, we will have to upgrade our lab, but it is not on the horizon right now.
Well, I think it's great, especially with a lot of things going on. I mean, we've been having a lot of theft happening, and I'm grateful to see even the flock camera system being used at catching many of the people out there. So I really highly recommend both of these, and I hope we move forward with it.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Wu?
Regarding, so we create a position, but can we promote one of the 12 person, or we have to go outside?
No, in this instance, we'll have to go outside.
We have to go outside to find a professional, have management background.
Because we're seeking someone with knowledge already that's going to come in, and we don't have
to train our staff.
Yes. They just need to learn West Covina, but they already come in highly qualified.
With a background, years of experience about record keeping in the police department. So we need to be compatible with our salary so we can recruit the good people to help us.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions of our chief? Thank you so much, Chief. Councilman Wu?
I have a question regarding our human resource. Because how many? I think over here you request how many people or the position is a new position or existing position? How many staff you have? I think you kind of only few staff.
I'll let our HR director answer.
Want to share with us and how you build a risk management to protect the city, avoid any lawsuit, this and that. So, and how many staff? I think over here you request 2 or 3, right? Human resource entry level. Type 1, type 2. Would you please explain to us?
Absolutely. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Helen Tran, Director of HR and Risk Management. We have a staff of 4 total, myself and 3 others. 2 members of my team are leaving, and so I have to quickly look at what's needed. And since I've been with the city for 2 years, there's a lot of work that needs to happen. HR, we cover risk management, which covers workers' comp, liability, recruitment, labor relation, negotiation. We do everything. So it's a huge task for just a small team. And so when I looked at the operation, I realized that I need someone who can be my backup, because I can't, just being one person, I cannot do it all at times. So having an HR manager who could also assist in managing all these aspects of HR and risk management is very, very important, because we are managing risks as well, and we're doing a really good job in minimizing that over the years and saving money for the city as far as preventing risks. And making sure recruitment, we're making sure that we are being a partner to all of our departments, that they are effectively, needs are addressed, personnel matters, and so forth. So, this proposal would be really good for the department, and will create succession planning as well.
I have nothing to against it. I think HR is very important for the city or for company, for that strong department, because you deal with a lot of issue. Risk management is one issue, and you deal with labor negotiations, another issue, and then you have kind of work with all the department, and the recruitment, and how to make the thing faster. Right. To recruit people to come in, because if we don't do it fast, some other city will rob it. Our people, if you're waiting too long. So hopefully we can have a sweep, and the process to, when we have the right people, then we right away make an offer and then can have them to work for the city, because I know we have quite a lot of vacancy, and then sometimes it's very difficult to get the people in. So possible you are lack of staff, so there's a reason, some delay due to that reason.
Correct. And the goal is always process improvement, to be more efficient, to make sure that we are, again, a partner to all of our fellow departments and employees.
One delay the most I heard about is a background check. The background check that sound like it take forever. Can we make the background check a little bit faster? Because if we background check wait for 2-3 weeks, people already find out another job, they drop from us.
The thing is, we can't control how fast that goes because it depends on the individual. Once they get scanned, they could have the same similar names and all of those things, so it gets delayed. So it's one of those things where if there is anything in the background, it can come very quickly.
But the background check, I'm sorry, okay, the background check is from the FBI lab or from the database of national, or can we, our police department, the record?
We have been working with the police department.
Our police department?
Yes. So if
the delay is from them?
Well, not necessarily. Again, it depends on the individual who's getting background. So
so it's for our, you don't send out to the FBI, you send out to our police department to check the background?
We use all optional vendors that's there, but we are. That's one of the goals is to look at the process. So that's one of the.
I just want a clear answer. Who is doing the background check? Is our police department, or are you outsourcing to some?
We do have the sheriff who processes the background, but when they are backed up, then we use our police department as well. So again, it just making sure that we use all avenues that's out there. But looking for process improvement is always the goal.
My point is just that hopefully we can get this process of background check. I went through a couple of times that we have to wait for the background check for our key person to come in. It takes forever.
Understood.
Yeah. So
we'll always look at that.
Okay, appreciate. Okay.
Thank you. And I want to, on a different topic, not on hiring, but on risk management, I want to commend you on the work you've done mitigating our legal risks. So I want to make sure we keep that process in place and continue to utilize the risk management that has been very effective as compared to previous administrations. So thank you. Any further questions of our HR director?
I just wanted to add to that because I remember when we were doing the whole fiscal management and, one of our, we were talking about the HR director position and we wanted to make sure that we had this because it was important in regards to risk management and everything, and then you came on board. So thank you. My question is, there's only 4, including yourself, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And 2 is leaving.
And 2 is leaving. Which are the 2 that are leaving?
HR analyst and the admin assistant 2, which was my assigned risk management side of things. So we just brought on someone who has that background. So we are, again, she just started a few weeks ago. I am now currently trying to look at the analyst position. That's why I'm thinking the HR manager would be a good route to go with, just because there's a lot of things that needs to be looked at and process improvement and so forth.
Yeah, and with all the hiring, I know it's important to get somebody qualified because, one, you have to take all the time to train them, but at least have them at a higher standard so when it's training, they could take off. So Thank you for everything you've done. That's it.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Councilman Wu?
Are you sure this is enough? You want more people?
I'm being very
asking for this. Hello.
The beginning of the year, okay.
So we're hiring the right people. We will keep moving forward. So
that's the key, the right people.
All the department now currently, you think this should be good? And Stephanie, you think we can afford it? Yes? Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any further questions? It looks like no. Okay. Thank you so much, Helen.
I will move the motion to approve.
I'll second.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
A motion for item number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 by Councilman Wu, and a second by Councilwoman Lopez Viado. Councilmember Tabatabai?
Aye.
Councilman Wu?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Castellanos?
Aye. Those items pass 5-0. That takes us to item number 7, departmental regular matters. and the consideration of our goals for this next year. And we'll present that. We begin
You're
that.
stuck with me, Mayor. I will be presenting the item. So before you this evening, it's a consideration of City Council goals. Oh. Waiting for it to go. The intent for this evening is to have a consensus from the council in prioritizing the following goals. As included in your staff report, there's 8 major categories of goals that we are looking for your direction on. 1 is protect public safety. 2 is address homeless issues. 3 is enhance city image and effectiveness. 4 is maintain good intergovernmental relations. 5 is achieve fiscal sustainability and financial stability. 6 is a well-planned community. 7 is expand economic development opportunities. And the last one is creative and active community. So I can go through, next page. I can go through and list all of, under each major goal, there's subcategories and specific items that are listed. So the first one is response to the global pandemic. So execute cooperative agreements for COVID testing and execute agreements for supplemental ambulance transport services to make sure our residents have proper services. Second item is Public Health Department, and it's to seek a provisional approval for the creation of our West Covina Health Department, including various steps that are under that category. And I can list them, or I can kind of give you guys a summary. Okay, I figured. The second one is acquire and implement the use of body-worn cameras. This is a public safety item to help record interactions with the community members and law enforcement officers. The second one is an annual police department review, which is intended to increase accountability and transparency. And I have to switch. Annual report we already did. Second is purchase needed fire emergency vehicles. This would include 2 rescue ambulances, 3 fire pumper engines, and 1 fire ladder truck. Develop an emergency management plan to ensure that our community is ready for in case of an emergency. And then the last one is to conduct a biannual canvass for our pet licenses that we have not conducted with the changes in provider. So that is all included under public safety. Next is goal number 2, address homeless issues. And this one really is in response to Measure H, which was a 0.25% increase to the sales tax rate to address homeless issues within the county. To seek external funding, including through the San Gabriel Valley Housing Trust Fund, to help address homeless or provide homeless services here in West Covina, and then partner with area cities on a regional response to inadequacies of the existing Measure H program.
I'm sorry. Okay, Paulina, on the homeless issue, as I remember, last year we have a station union station. Mm-hmm. Supposed to be by end of the year, they want to give us some presentation. So can we invite them to come back?
They did promise that by the end of the year, so we could follow up with Union Station when they were up here presenting. We had a dialogue with them, and they promised by the end of the year.
And then now
I actually said Christmas, but then I said let's say end of the year.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to we have this goal regarding the homeless issue. Can we invite them to come back, see their proposal, and we can kind of consolidate. Okay, and we're not going to see the money from county get back, our major H money, so we should do something ourselves rather than continue to wait, or hope. Okay, so I think we need to have a station union. So union station, since they doing this with very little resource based on what they say, so we can using them, and we'll consolidate with our nonprofit churches, and they want willing to help. Put it together, make a West Covina homeless initiative, and starting helping people, rather than continue. Hope for some of the thing need county to cooperate, but I don't think that will happen at all.
They've just been kicking the can down the road and doing who knows what.
So, but we still have homeless people on the street. So, would you please see when they can willing to already? The lady last time did the presentation. Can we invite her back? Okay.
We could definitely invite them back. Our contract with them did end end of December, but we can definitely invite them.
What they were going to do is take their expertise they gained while working here and come back to us with a proposal that they think could work.
They tailor the city based on what she says. She want to tailor our city. They understand about our city issue. Since they always serve us for pandemic, but still they understand some of the issue. So we just let them go away. It's kind of waste. So maybe we can have them and just find a resource, and they have some resource. We have some resource. We work together. We need to resolve this homeless no matter what.
Councilmember Tabatabai.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, and I agree. I was extremely excited when Union Station had said they were going to do the presentation, and especially because she did mention the housing component that is lacking in the San Gabriel Valley. And so I noticed one of the goals is to also try to access that San Gabriel Valley Housing Trust funds. And I think without a plan, you won't be able to. But if Union Station could provide some kind of plan that really looks at, I mean, there's, $20 million that Senator Susan Rubio, has put out to the San Gabriel Valley and is available for us. And we have good relationships with that office. And I think if we put something really quality together, I think, we can make this work.
Thank you.
So can you arrange for next meeting that, we don't want to continue to wait because supposedly, it should be last year, and possible we don't have a meeting, due to the office shutdown. So maybe we can ask her to, they're ready for their proposal, and tailor to our city need based on our situation, and we can kind of work with other churches and our nonprofit, work together as a team. And we do the community outreach, to try to find their camping area, to try to help them see we can find some. I understand some churches, they have some volunteer their housing, so maybe you can put them into some more homely environment rather than like a Pomona concentration camp. Because so we need to have them feel like they are as a family member rather than just temporarily put some place over there. So, but at the meantime, with this very cold weather, we need to have some kind of voucher for them to go to the hotel, and the motel. So at least we can kind of help the people, especially family with children.
We do have hotel vouchers currently. Without Union Station.
Councilman Tabatabai.
Thank you, Mayor. Just because I don't want to forget, and Councilman Wu mentioned it, we also do have the homeless count on January 25th, and we are, I believe we have 10. I know my wife and I signed up as volunteers. We need 80. And so really to have good numbers, right? We need good data to really create a viable plan to make sure that whatever project we put together actually addresses those who are unsheltered. So again, I think that's another priority in terms of item number 2 is that we do really reach out and get those 70 more volunteers so we can have good numbers in order to really address, because I know with Boise they go off of that number. And so, you really need to have a good number in order to realize what your needs are and how to access some of these things. So January 25th, Cameron Park.
Got it. Thank you.
I have a question. Yeah. And I remember, county perform, the homeless count, every year. So, I don't know, is this, San Luis County, or this is our volunteer want to do it, or this is something we want to do a joint venture with our consolidated resource, because, county, supposedly they have their professional doing this thing. Should we join the county, invite the county to work together? Because normally they do, and the homeless count, to every city every year. So maybe we should request county to do this, consolidate, and we want to see what, Station Union regarding their outreach, so we can combine because we need to know where they're at. Okay, I know the railroad at the south side, they have quite a lot, but that is not in the West Covina, that is county. But they still go, okay, to the, okay, friendship pub, okay, and some of 7-Eleven parking lot. Because they walk around, floating around. So how we precisely, okay, into all this common area, not necessarily inside West Covina, okay, so we need county. Okay, county cannot be get out of this. County have to send their staff to combine with our staff as a joint venture. Yes. Roseanne, you want to say something?
Okay. Yeah, microphone's on.
Microphone doesn't on, then resident cannot hear you.
The mobile one?
How about the mobile one? How about the mobile mic?
Test. Can you hear me?
There you go. That works.
So through the chair, if I may,
mic, right?
just to address some of your questions, Councilman Wu, regarding the county's count of the homeless. The county typically does request volunteers. So it's been my experience in the various cities that I've worked for that they do ask that each city provide a certain number of volunteers. They do supplement with county staff, but they do supplement with county staff, but they rely heavily on volunteers. And so what we can do to assist with those efforts is do a social media push just to let the public know that if they're interested in volunteer, they can certainly do so, and how they can go about becoming a volunteer for that homeless count. But yes, the county does send staff, and yes, they typically do ask all cities to provide volunteers.
Mayor, we have participated obviously in the count before.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Mayor. Okay, and as I remember, okay, and we have a county joint venture with our police department, our volunteer, and our staff, and our police. Okay, to not only to homeless count, at the same time, so-called the community outreach, to help them, some of them, okay, off the street. You go over there, you count how many, but at the same time, since you see them over there, can we help you this and that? So they should be combined together rather than just count how many 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and they're floating around 2, 7, 4, 5, 9, 10. So I don't think that is really. As I remember, the very effective way is community outreach. Okay, and with a volunteer, with the professional, with our sheriff, okay, and the police all join together and doing that. And the last time, the report from the previous chief, we received that report. We once community outreach, we taking care at least 10 to 20, okay, homeless, they will need to receive help. So I think, okay, rather than just counting them, okay, we should count them at the same time. Since we see them over there, then we say, can we provide you service?
Maybe we could invite Union Station reps to see if they'd like to participate.
And then we can combine with churches, okay, and those like all in one, okay, they're willing to help. Then we have Matt Chavez with their group. They're really aggressive, want to help the community. Let's invite them to work together with their very members. They're willing to help people, okay, with love, okay, and then we have some other like God Pantry, okay. We talked to them with that time with the previous mayor Letty Lopez. We have a meeting with them more than one times, okay. So I think we should combine and then we do it, okay. So we using the manpower, but not just to count them. I think at the same time we should provide service if we can.
We can definitely reach out to those groups and see how we can.
We organize, okay, and then with our resource, with the volunteer, okay, then we do a community outreach to some area to see how can we help them? Okay, make sense? Okay, thank you.
Okay, continue, please.
Okay. So the third goal is to enhance city image and effectiveness. This includes bringing all the city facilities to standard, kind of a continuance of us being energy efficient, upgrading the restrooms at our parks and our city facilities as well, addressing deferred maintenance to the sportsplex, installing new city entry signs, updating playgrounds. So those are kind of the items in regarding bringing city facilities to standard. A second is improve recreational. Oh, next slide. Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Since you're talking about the sport plaque and ours, okay, and some sport field, okay, and we have a lot of light. I think they eat up a lot of power bill. Okay, I think we talked about it last year regarding how we utilize and the survey and estimate how much it will cost us the city to changing to all the lights LED. And right now everything's LED. So especially all this and the sport plaques. Okay, the sport plaque we have a 6 field. And that's a lot of power bill we have to pay. And then we have a 16 park. So, and we have a lot of baseball fields. So how soon we can have the estimation? Because I think last year we already request the number, and I think Alliance want to do it, but we want to go to one vendor directly would be something cheaper. I don't know what's going on. Can you kind of share with us? Set up the goal is great, but I think execution is even more important. How can we execute to make things happen?
So, in regards to the field lights at the Sportsplex, I don't know if Roxanne can add to this, but we did look at changing them to LED. I believe that the current lights are under warranty, and so we would lose out on the warranty if we switch them out at this time.
You're talking about the very heavy-duty waste energy light is under warranty.
Can you add to that, Roxanne?
Who really care?
It's a mic situation.
Okay.
The lights that costs us a lot of power bill. If we change the LED, I have people to estimate how much to do the tennis court light, this and that. Okay, right now the price is they have to change the ballast, and the light. It's not really that expensive.
Allow us the opportunity to revisit that and to get you some real numbers. Assistant City Manager Morales is correct in the sense that some of those lights are under warranties, but let us get you something that's firm and give us the opportunity to give you some real numbers to that.
Yeah, and all those lights still the traditional, not the energy saving light bulb, right?
Yeah, that was my next question. What kind of bulbs are those? Are they the gas bulbs? Mercury.
Oh,
I believe they're halogen.
Halogen.
Yeah, those are not efficient.
That's a bill killing puppet. Okay, the EU alive with all that bright light and on all the time, and our meter would run so fast. Okay, so I think we need to estimate LED because since right now, they have everything for LED, and so. How soon we can do this report and back to us? I think we started last year already. To look into. Roseanne, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. You're still pretty new. But this week asked for city manager to do it last year when we are doing the Alliance Energy Saving this and that project. And the one we bring up is the Sportplex, the 6 baseball field. At the same time, in the meeting, we talk about Alder Park that we are currently have the children playing the league. And then so in that way, like somebody complaining about Cortez Park light on overnight. So in that way, and if you put a LED, so that's nice, safe to make it lit during the nighttime. Don't make it so dark with LED. I think we can afford it.
So one of the goals I don't know exactly where on here, but it is about energy efficiency. And I believe that we did replace the Shadow Oak lights in the fields up there with LED. That was part of the energy efficient project with Alliance. And so we are looking at replacing the other lights.
Can we get a survey for entire city park and with the ballpark, and then to see?
You can definitely work on it.
Would you please, and how soon we can get a report to survey entire city so we can, and then we can survey how much it will cost us, and do we have any of Edison rebate and to do all this improvement? And I know Edison will do a lot of rebate if we save energy. Mm-hmm. So can we check into it?
Yeah, I would defer.
How soon you see when we can receive some next meeting?
We can provide you feedback at the next meeting.
Are you sure?
Well, what we can do, what we can do at the next meeting is we can provide you with the timeline of when we can give you a report. Let us get some. We do have a responsibility to follow up with you, so allow us to follow up with you at the next meeting, and then we can give and establish a timeline in order for an evaluation to be conducted.
Thank you so much, Roseanne. I like your attitude. So next meeting, okay, thank you.
No, but remember what I said. We'll provide a timeline.
At least you provide something, okay, but I need to have some survey right away so we can have the thing, because otherwise, okay, let's continue to waste the energy, continue to waste our general fund for paying all the bill.
Correct.
I think we can save millions just for all this light.
Correct.
Just to pay the Edison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Okay.
Oh, Councilman Twine.
No, just to add, and I'm glad Councilman Wu is, with these goals, you do want something smart, right? Something that you can accomplish, you can point to, and you can say, at this time, this is what we were able to do. And it has been something that we have talked about. So, the sooner we can get that presentation, the sooner we can have in this amount of time, this will happen. Then, like Councilman Wu said, this actually becomes something versus just words.
Correct.
I believe the intent was for tonight was to get a priority on which ones you wanted us to focus on, and then we can go from there and start coming back with a plan on how we're going to achieve those goals.
Everything is priority. We don't have tomorrow. We only have yesterday. So.
Okay.
Your equal value.
Continue, please.
Okay. The next is improve recreational and park opportunities in the community, including our picnic areas, resurfacing tennis courts, looking at our skate park and what opportunities are there, as well as Gallister Park and doing a trail project. The next one is basically more transparency with the community, providing more information and promptly and resources, maintaining our website updated with information and events and programs and services that the city has, and then bring back the Discover newsletter and provide an annual State of the City report.
I want to ask a question over here. Okay, I think that the issue, I facing myself. A lot of people say, why you post a picture that after the event, so they don't even know we have an event. So I agree with them. Because a lot of people doesn't even know. Even I post on the bus, I post on this and that, people still don't see it. So if we can more aggressive to do the promotion, and to do some kind of communication to have our resident know we doing the event. We want people to show up. You don't want to all dress up and nobody show up for your party, right? You really want to spend all the effort, the staff time, and you really want the happy children and happy resident to see, but I understand some of the things kind of new, so people not used to it, but at the same time, people kind of, not really sure are we going to have a good event. But we couple events pretty successful. Our tree lighting is very successful. Children love let snow, and skating. And this is something I want to thank Roxanne to bring this to the city. That's the first time we have a tree lighting, and the city need a tree lighting to put our residents together. So I think this is important to how we can let residents. So I think that last year we're talking about we need to set it up what this year's, and what kind of event. So at the beginning, we have a calendar to show to our resident that February, March, April, May, every month, what kind of event the city going to provide, or other, our sponsor or our local nonprofit or even profit, what kind of event they have. So if we can bring this, I know Live West Covina trying to do that, but again, it's just a Facebook site. It's not really like city. That one is only like 500 members, so you only have 500 people can see that. Well, our city has 120,000 population. So how can we, and not only that, we can attract outside of city to see what our city have the event. So I think it's important to kind of put a calendar for whole year Okay, so people can see it.
As you keep mentioning, it's important to be able to execute, not just put goals on paper. So definitely putting it on the calendar will help.
Yeah, I think put on the calendar, okay, and what kind of event. And we, city council and the volunteer want to help, okay, and to see we can put, this is our city, okay, we all work together, okay, and if we can put this for people to enjoy it, okay, and that's what the community is about. So I think my suggestion, like last year, is to put the calendar, okay, and from the beginning this year, okay, and I know, Roseanne, we put a lot of hope on you. So, okay, we want to see how good you are to kind of show the good face of the city.
Councilman Tabatabai.
And just to piggyback on that, I know there's quite a few residents that don't really access the social media. And so I think, is a possible way to also leverage some of our sponsorships, like with Athens and possibly in the monthly Athens bill. Include that this is the
Sorry to interrupt. It's a great idea, and it's quarterly, so we got to jump on that. Yeah. So we just got one in January, so the next one will be.
That's right. It's a 3-month bill, but yeah, things like that, and also, as these video boards we have, going by the freeway, right, and again, just. So people will see it in these ways. I know social media is so easy. But again, a lot of our residents aren't on social media. They still like the mail. They still like the touch. So
I want to add on, okay, and I think Discover West Covina, that is a very important addition, okay. In the tradition, we always have that, okay, and send out to city quarterly, okay, and have all the news about the city. And last time I showed to the city council showing I collect that thing for years. So hopefully we can bring back to mail. I know we have to estimate how much it will cost the city, but a lot of people still reading, okay, waiting for that to show up and see, okay, what's going on in the city. Okay, a lot of, like you say, a lot of, okay, residents, they not really go to the social media. Speaking true, a lot of people really doesn't want to go to social media. It's nothing but bully, this and that. Okay, okay. So the mail coming in, they choose which one they want. So I think last year we talked about we want to bring back, okay, Discover West Covina, and some of, we can put out the senior center, okay, for people to pick up and or mail to their home. Mm-hmm. Okay, another thing is, okay, I remember we have another one, it's called the schedule, all the, okay, and the program for our senior, for our training, for this and that and that. So I think we can gradually, I know it's pandemic, but I think we have to gradually bring the whole thing back.
So if I can add, what the city did was we consolidated the rec guide, community service rec guide, and the Discover into quarterly distribution for the community.
I remember during the 2018 budget, the Nico Boisiani basically killed everything, okay, and then later on that disappeared too. So I think we should kind of bring back, if we can, okay, we check the budget, okay, see what we can do, how much it will cost us. And by the way, we can sell the advertisement.
Yes, we did in the past. We can definitely do that.
We can, the recreation, that one is a little bit thicker. So they have a lot of people like, I know Mayor Dario, okay, Casiano, he's going to buy some ad, right?
Easily, yeah. I wouldn't hesitate. But you make a very good point. You've said it a lot. And in fact, a lot of residents have brought that up to me in conversations, how much they missed the Discover. I think it was very popular. We could make it even better than it ever was before, although it was very good in the past. We could put the calendar in there, very effective tool for communication. I've got a couple of comments from Councilman Tabatabai and then Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
Yeah. Well, everything you said, I'm glad it just said there, published quarterly Discover newsletter. But today we're just discussing the goals, right? Or we're not going in details of every little section? Okay. I just wanted to double check on that before we continue.
Just add quickly, okay, we're going back to your time. How soon we can get a Discover West Covina back to the resident?
Or here, how about this? On all these goals, when would we get a timeline so that all this can be said? Because this is going to be the same question for every other topic that we are going to discuss.
Well, I think overall we're looking for priority, and then we can go from there so that we achieve
Everything's
priority.
We're all priorities.
All of it. Councilman Tabatabai.
Just because this goes with I think number 4 also with the Discover and all of these. I think it's also important that we partnership with our 3 school districts, right? Because this is a way to get it right. You get it to the kid gets it to the house. And again, this is something that I think we haven't utilized enough, and I think we can leverage those relationships to get these things out to people.
Oh, I 100% agree. Okay, I think the 3 school districts should have a good relationship with the city because they are our children. Okay, we service the same population. So even each 3 school district have their own 3 self-governed committee, but still it's our residents. So we have a West Covina Unified, basically entire in our city, and then we have a Covina Unified, 1/3 population. They have Rolling Unified. So basically we have all these 3 on the south side. From the BKK South, everything is Rolling Unified. There's a lot of population. So we need to kind of work with them. But I think luckily we have a pretty good relationship with the school district, and then they all show up on our state or city. So hopefully we can, and West Covina Unified have a new, superintendent. So hopefully we can have a chance to kind of sit down with them, have a meeting, see how can we help each other, and in that way we can use this correspondent edition article, a booklet that we can send to the school to bring it home. And then same thing too, when we have event, for example, and the tree lighting, the school should know. If we can have a school, they know the parent will bring their children. This is for the kid, and we see some kid, but we don't see a lot of kid. It's such a feeling. We feel like we spend a lot of effort, but children don't even know. So hopefully, with the school work together with PTA, so we can get all this networking together. This is a New Year wish. That's what we're trying to do.
We can definitely partner with the school districts to communicate more with them about our events and services and programs.
Thank you. Please continue.
The next item is implement energy efficient measures, as I mentioned before, so I won't go into that again or dive in deeper. Implement the city's active transportation plan. So look at our current transportation services and how we can provide better transportation for our residents. The next one is make West Covina more verdant by implementing the master plan of street trees, paying particular attention to areas near schools and bus stops. Access and upgrade the city's sewer collection system. This is one that's not in your staff report, but we felt important to add was evaluate compliance with requirements of the Clean Water Act and implement as needed best practice measures such as street sweeping and parking requirements.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Number 4 is maintain good intergovernmental relations. So one of the major ones is regulatory compliance and working with our regulatory agencies to ensure compliance with changing state and federal regulations. The other one is to pursue external partnership and grants, looking at opportunities where we can get grants for programs or services or infrastructure updates, any way that we can use that to leverage money for the community. Next one, 5, achieve fiscal sustainability and financial stability. Maintain and monitor the city's fiscal health. Adopt MOUs with all employee labor associations. Update city personnel rules. Look at city policies. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going a little bit faster.
That's okay.
It's okay. Update city policies, including community services, facility use policies, evaluate operations, improve safety and quality of customer experience through all our facilities. Employ known principles of risk management to address action items identified in the city risk management evaluation. Make changes in ways the city conducts its business, ensuring the needs of the city are met. Number 6, a well-planned community. So currently right now the planning department is spearheading our development code update. And so to continue moving forward with that project, and then also updating our permit software. We now with the pandemic, had closed to the public, and we're trying to be able to accommodate online submittals, and so being able to provide that additional service to our business community. Number 7, expand the economic development opportunities. So continue our marketing efforts to expand and retain the business economic base. Work with our property owners to promote development in the community. Focus efforts of the community economic development division on economic recovery and tourism through continued relationship building. Look at the possibility of an enhanced infrastructure financing district, and then reinforce West Covina as a great place to come do business, to live, and to play in the San Gabriel Valley.
Councilman Wu.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, and this is your area. Okay, you're in charge of development and recruit all the business to West Covina. So I previously saw Roseanne. Okay, now it's all you. Okay, we want more business come to city. Okay, and I know we have a couple of big projects, including West Covina, Plaza West Covina, including the possible Eastland Mall. Okay, and so we need to see how the city can kind of help them to develop, because otherwise West Covina, Plaza West Covina will be, due to all this current situation, they will suffer. So we need to hurry up to kind of, we have meeting with the new owner, Pacific Retail, and investment group, and so can we continue at you, have a connection with them, can continue to check with them, regarding, and the current situation, to help them to continue to what we already approved for previous investor, that is Starwood. So this couple of the big project concerning the future of West Covina. And that is all very big project, and we need to really to make sure we can recruit the business, and the development. And another thing regarding the city yard. The city are concerned, that we already RFP, and we have already identified, we need work hard to try to get this, because they're concerning the build a brand new fire station 1. Because current station 1 we know have been condemned. And we, this year, this is a priority. We need to make sure we can build this station 1, and because my understanding, the previous mayor, Letty Lopez, and went over there. They are very, very extremely busy, station number 1, and that has the most call service. So we need to build a brand new, a fire station, and around the neighborhood. So that is, and I think this is priority. So will you want to kind of share with us how soon, when we are going to make this thing, or hopefully we can make this thing happen this year?
Yes. So I wanted to mention, I forgot that under number 3, enhance city image and effectiveness, one of them under bring all city facilities to standard was identify potential projects for inclusion in the capital improvement plan, and we did list the fire station 1 and the city yard under that. So in regards specifically to the city yard, we did release a request for proposals. We did receive various proposals. Because it is city-owned property, we had to go through the Surplus Land Act, so that we are waiting to conclude that time, see if we receive any proposals. If we don't, then we can go back to the proposals we received and select one of those and move forward with negotiations with that individual firm.
That's mid-January, correct?
Yes, it'll be mid-January.
When's the exact date?
January 15th.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
A few more days.
Yeah, I think some of the preliminary, Station 1 design, it looks really pretty, and it will be showing the city shining armor, on the freeway. So I think that is really needed to save life, on the Freeway 10 access, and the heart of West Covina to to really protect, okay, and the area, okay, due to this area really busy. Okay,
Correct.
and so we really cannot wait. So that's why I say, okay, this thing we need to push to get it, okay, and so our firefighter can walk into a acceptable environment, and then brand new, and maybe we can move our police headquarters, fire department into that new building. Okay, so this is something I think that, okay, and I think the resident wanted, I think the fire department wanted too.
Yeah, so when we were reviewing or looking at the opportunity to sell the city yard, we looked at an opportunity to relocate the fire station, and specifically because fire station does need to be replaced. And so we were looking at other potential locations for that, closer to the 10 freeway, as you mentioned. And that would open up more opportunity for sale of the city yard.
So when you say goal setting and when you said priority, this is priority. This is public safety.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 8, and I believe that's the last one, is a creative and active community. So as you guys are mentioning, we want to make sure that we advertise our events. We want to expand the lineup of our community events, make sure that they are well attended, that people are taking advantages of those events that we have. Reevaluate opportunities to weave the arts and local heritage into everyday life. Host and co-host events with community partners. Develop a master calendar, as Council mentioned earlier, of community and city-sponsored events, and then review recreational opportunities at the Equestrian Center and see what opportunities lie there to provide more parks or services in that area. And I think that's all 8 of the major goals. We are trying to get a priority of which ones you want to prioritize. If there's anything that you'd like to change or add, or there's something that you'd like to eliminate completely, that's kind of the feedback that we wanted from council this evening.
I think because these are all priorities, one approach we could attempt is we could each list our top 2 and go from there, or maybe let's say top 3, because this is an exhaustive list.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just list quickly mine. Measure H, we got to target that aggressively with the help and collaboration of our surrounding cities, mayors, city managers, and anybody willing to help, because I think the waste is just heinous and it's got to come to a halt. I'd like the Gallister Park Trail project to be a priority. We have had some preliminary buy-in from our state legislators that they will work on that with us. And public safety in general, both of our departments, police and fire, are priorities. So those are my 3. I'll let my Mayor Pro Tem go next.
If I could clarify, is that number 1, protect public safety with all the items, or specifically police and fire public safety?
Let me look at the exhaustive list. Police and fire, I'd like to prioritize.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I would like to see our health department get approved and implemented. And let's see, our health department. This is hard because there's so many.
They're all priorities.
Just choose everything.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to continue with the beautification of our city. I also want to have, I like the cameras, the body cameras for our officers. That's why this is so difficult. So I guess I'll stick with that.
Okay, well, those are 3. Well, since we're going that direction.
I just wanted to recommend something because I understand that all these are priority. Obviously, we have our goals, and with this, I'd like to see strategy and then who's responsible for the goal, timeline, and execution. And since technically these have different categories, it falls under different departments. So technically, we can
touch on all these preliminary goals and pick a few that we want to focus on each one so that it's across the board, because some of these are interlinked with each other. So, for example, the fifth, maintain good intergovernmental relationship with the school districts. Well, that falls in line with communication in a well-planned community and marketing. So they kind of all interrelate with each other. So I'd like to see, obviously, all these go through, but I understand that this is overwhelming to meet all these goals. Granted that these all categories are very important. And within those, I mean, some of them are more extensive, and others, like the addressing homeless issue, there's only 2 bullet points there. But if possibly each one that we go through, we pick our main focus to move forward with it. But I'd like to see all of them kind of go through. And like I said, some goals are going to be so easy and quick to reach, while others are not. They take more time. But again, they interlink with each other. That being said, I don't know if that's a possibility, because obviously we're going to all go through different things. And, my issue is, of course, public safety.
These could evolve, and I think we could revisit them weekly or monthly as needed. Very good point. That's why it's so hard to not just say all of them, but anything you'd like to say just in general, the first things you'd like city staff to target?
Well,
even if it does kind of
of course, public safety, police and fire,
okay.
The homeless issue, and which will bring Union Station in regards to addressing some of the housing that I last recommended with them to look into thinking outside the box with residents housing instead of just like as you mentioned, like a one building. Enhancing city image and effectiveness. I mean, that is key in regards to all our buildings. We want to put things to par. That I know a goal of itself, that's too many buildings, but that I'd like to see improvements on that.
I think that those are good starting points to look at. So homelessness, public safety.
I was just going 1 through 3 all the way through. I'm just hitting key points. The intergovernmental relationship, that one, that's really just putting it together with another one. Of course, our financial stability. But I've also mentioned in the past, our website is just so outdated. That alone is a goal in itself. And that if we focus on technology and also improving all these other things, I think that kind of also helps. I know Councilman Tabatabai mentioned like the span, the bulletin boards, readers with others, all those kind of interlink with everything else, but the website technology and the others, it kind of falls in line with the other things. But yeah, those were my focus.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll drill down on that a little bit more. Now we'll go to my left, Councilman Wu. Or Councilman Tabatabai, would you like to?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman Wu. I'd like to start with the mayor's priority. I think for the entire states, the priority is number 2. There's an urgency there. There's a want to do stuff, and I think the cities around us, I think the San Gabriel Valley is starving for it, and so I think that as a priority, and we've already established Union Station was going to come with some ideas. And again, we have a great relationship with Senator Susan Rubio's office. So I think we can really leverage and do some really big things on number 2. The other one, again, number 3, I think, Galster Park has been something that we wanted to revitalize. And I know Councilwoman Lopez Viado and Mayor Pro Tem Diaz and I have focused on the skate park as well as an opportunity. And I've talked with Roxanne about it, and I think there's a real opportunity there. There's an opportunity with the Olympics coming and money available for the skate park because it is an Olympic event. I know that the Edgewood Pool across the street is going to be hosting an Olympic team, so that could be a center space. And so number 3, and I believe the website, which we've been pushing, and I think we were told that we had some contract that was going to take that over. So definitely number 3 as a priority. And last, I think we've really spoken about that mall, that Glendora area. We're building on Cameron. Eminent is building, and so that whole area is there's going to be people, there's going to be new residents. It's an opportunity to really just boost the city. I think if we can get that mall right and moving, we can get that Glendora area moving. We have the H2K market, right, that is about to blow up. I mean, that whole area, and if we look back on the old general plan, they pointed at that area, and it seems that area keeps popping up. So I believe that's item 7, right? So those would be mine, 2, 3, and 7.
Thank you, Councilman Tabatabai. Councilman Wu.
Yeah, I'm much more greedy. Okay, I want everything priority. Okay, I think everything is so doable. Is a willingness to do it, okay, because it's all different department. Development is, okay, and the Polina's departments, okay, and the park and the public work, there's a Roseanne department, okay, and then we have a police department and the firefighter department. They're all doable, okay, so we have so many staff and we should all work in the same time. So we equally to take care of our priority and all this doable. So rather than just talk this and that, we need to execute, okay. Without execution, we just basically wasting our time talking about our goal, okay. And I think our goal is to improve the city, and how we to improve it is to make the thing happen, is making action. So meaning the timeline, okay, when we are going to have an article sent out, okay, it's the budget, okay, this and that, because I think we talked about this last year. So all these things, and we're talking about Glendora revitalization, and we talk about that, and the suggestion is we at least we can survey to put light on those trees, so at least at nighttime it doesn't look so eerie. So to make something small doable first. Because you say, oh, we need to wait for the budget to remodel entire street. It's impossible. Okay. And so, but something small, we can do it. Okay. For example, make the tree, okay, at nighttime, so tree all lit. Okay. And it feels safe. It feels inviting. And then nighttime people willing to go over there, enjoying those fields. Okay. And we have Paris baguettes already there. And we have more possible, some business coming in. So how city, okay, and to do something, okay, like we care. So put the light, okay, and then hopefully those business willing to put the BID, business, okay, improvement district, and then they can hire maintenance and security like any shopping mall. So they need to pitch in too. City will taking care of the street, okay, make it light, and we are going to do, okay, and we're talking about, okay, night market. Okay, and the Thursday night or Friday night, we haven't found the time, but we are talking about that. City willing to do a lot of things. It's all doable. Okay, and then we start small. Okay, and to get starting rolling to something big. It's impossible to build Rome in one day, but we can build slowly all doable thing. So let's think. And regarding public safety, we need to know the police when they're going to bring back the overlap shift, since we give them 100, okay, police officers. So how can we have a more patrol on the street? And so each department should give us their goal, what they can improve their service. Each department of our city should tell us what they can do for us, okay, to do for the taxpayer, pay them the salary. So we want to know, okay, what else can be executed and can to improve our service. Same thing to fire department too. At the same time, city will push to build a station number 1. Okay, and we need to sell that land so we can have money and a way to build that thing. So all these things is all happening at the same time. And what I say, all this can be done. And I only want this to be done yesterday. I know it's not going to happen, so at least we can finish all these things this year. And regarding homeless, we alwaady talk about how to execute. The execute is we bring, okay, and to somebody just text me, say, hey, okay, LASA has to be accountable. If they can be accountable, we don't have this issue. because they're not accountable and nobody can control them and they're not going to help us with anything. The only way we can do is we have to help ourselves. Okay, and so we can bring the union station and with our consolidate of all these agency and put it together, and we starting doing the count and starting doing this thing. Okay, hopefully early of the year to see how can we help those things. So I think the conclusion is this. Okay, action. Okay, is better than the vocabulary on the word. Okay, and let's starting put a slip up and starting work. Okay, to make things happen in our city. Okay, this is what my suggestion is. I want everything. Okay, I'm not going to choose 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I agree with the mayor. Okay, previous mayor. Okay, let's get the whole thing happen. Okay,
absolutely. I just wanted us to not all individually go through each bullet point. I agree that the entire list is important, and there's even stuff that's not on here that's important, like our failed bus services. Elon Musk once famously said, if you give yourself 30 days to clean your home, it'll take you 30 days. If you give yourself 3 hours, it'll take you 3 hours. So we can and should, as Councilman Wu and Councilwoman Lopez Viado mentioned, we can and should make all of these consecutive goals, not mutually exclusive. With that being said, anything else on this topic?
Just want to piggyback on what Councilman Wu said. The idea of a bid for that Glendora area, I think would be a wonderful idea.
Long overdue.
Long overdue. Yes, and I think they're ready for it. Speaking with some of those business owners, they're ready for it.
So in that case, Paulina, that would be your task. Okay, and talk to each other. I know you know them. So, and you've been in the city for 18 years. So you've been doing the community, economic development. So, can that recruit them? Tell them this benefit to them. And if they're complaining, about this and that, then help not everybody pay a little bit money amounts and all put together. Then we can work with the, and the theater. They already have a security, so that they have this security work together. So in that way, all this area will be safe. Then more people will willing. And our city point of view is we need to kind of entice. Make a tree. Make it lit. Right now it's kind of a dark and eerie. I say so many times. But if you walk there, think about this. Just have a light on those trees. It's really pretty on that street. Very romantic. And we really hope the family and they can walk the dog and go over there enjoying some of the food and service. So hopefully with all this kind of action, we can improve gradually because you can see city changing. We cleaning up the city. We have more confidence and people willing to come out and to help each other. So let's continue to do that.
Sounds good.
Thank you. And with that, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, as you mentioned, I have been with the city quite a few years, and that's something even back in redevelopment days that we've always wanted to transform Glendora Avenue into a more traditional downtown for the city. And there was an attempt in redevelopment to do that. It didn't go through. There was an attempt to redesign Glendora Avenue. It didn't go through. But definitely, I think a bid would be a great asset in transforming that area and getting stakeholders to reinvest in the community in that area.
I want to add on. It went through. The redevelopment of Glendora during the 2017 has been approved by 3-2. But during the bond and the meeting, it has been suspended by me.
Should have clarified. Yes, the bond didn't go through. The money didn't go through.
The project still approved. It just doesn't have the money because it's going to cost city $12 million to build a park. And over there, and you do not have a maintenance, you do not have a security, and you do not have a nice property surrounded, then nobody will remodel your front yard and don't remodel your home first. Because later on, if you something you want to remodel your home, you could destroy the front yard. At the same time, if you don't have security, you don't have and the maintenance, then it will become like our park, some of the park will become homeless haven. So there is a lot of issue. Okay, let the business over there have to start to see what they want to do to help themselves, and the city will assist them. But at the meantime, at least we can kind of clean up the city, do some decoration, something, okay, at least enticing, not going to cost us $12 million, okay, and losing all the parking space. And at that time, I request three things. One thing is we must have an anchor, we must have a crowd, and we must have a BID. Without those three, and they're not going to get that money at all because it's going to waste the city money for $12 million. At $12 million of our gas tax money will repay a lot of street. So meaning you only have those money. You want to use it to repay the street, or you want to do a potential just a park in the middle of the street and losing the parking lot. So this is a judgment. Okay, people have to really think into it. And by the way, at the end, at that time with that project, and they talk about changing the name of the Glendora, remember? So when people say no, then not true. We even approve, okay, and the name change. We haven't decided what name, okay, is, okay, and so in the future, they can still bring back because Glendora is a city. And our downtown in Glendora, so it doesn't make any sense. So right? So we need to have thinking about what name can attract tourism and people to be proud over there. You say, where are you going? I'm going to Glendora. Okay, okay, you're going to another city. So it's very confusing, and we understand some business worry about changing stationery, this and that, but maybe we can do some other way to increase the revenue, and we can give them some subsidy to help them to doing that. But all the things will be subject to the business owner, the property owner over there willingness to help themselves. Okay, and the city can assist. They have to help themselves first.
Yes. Good. Well, with that, any further comments on this, or do I have a motion to approve? I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Yeah.
No, it's a motion.
So I have a motion by Mayor Castellanos and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Diaz. Councilmember Tabatabai?
Aye.
Councilman Wu?
Aye, but I need a timeline.
Good addition. Thank you.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye, but might as well add strategy to it too and execution, but yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Castellanos?
Aye. Passes 5-0 with those additional directives given by council. We will expect a timeline and strategy. And what was the third one you said?
Execution of
Of course. Any council member requests or reports? Reports or requests? Okay, I'll report that I had a very happy New Year. City council comments.
I just wanted to say Happy New Year, everyone. 2021 is already done, but overall, the city of West Covina did good. Overall, we did well.
Great.
Great. Oh, great. We did wonderful, fabulous, fantastic.
Well, taking our general fund reserves from 12 to 21 million is pretty significant.
Exactly. And I hope that 2022 would be double the fun and we can continue to grow, improve, and get better. The biggest accomplishment was the city staff overall, the morale, and that is the first ever in many, many years. So that was really good to see with all the staff everywhere. But just again, Happy New Year, and can't wait to see what 2022 will bring.
Thank you very much. Councilman Wu?
First thing I want to follow my council member colleague talking about Happy New Year. But okay, and the years, okay, we're doing good last year, but okay, this year will be a challenging year because okay, all this supposedly forward now look like we backward again on this pandemic. I hope everybody's safe. Okay, I hope this thing we can overcome. Okay, because we need to overcome this pandemic. We need to have people back on their normal life. We need to let people no fear about okay, all this virus thing, we need people to go back to work. Okay, so I think the thing is, I want to wish everybody the best this beginning of the year, but we have to, okay, overcome the confidence coming out, okay, and then to take care of your family, to work together. So this is my best wishes, okay, and to everybody, and I hope the city they continue to work together and continue to move forward, and let's make sure the timeline, okay, and the next meeting I want to see the timeline, okay, and I want to see the execution. So every week, okay, every month we want to see the progress, okay, and we want to, okay, have all the development come to our city. That's our bread and butter we want to put on the table so we can provide the service. But I want to thank all the colleagues for, okay, and we have a zigzag for oral communication, but no matter what, we sit over here, try to help people, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Any further comments? With that, our meeting is adjourned.